Hi everyone, it's Janet from the Threshing Barn. I've got my dye pot on and I'm going to show you a couple of new ideas using just one colour dye, because often people say it's quite expensive to buy lots of dyes. So the effects you can get from just buying one dye depending on how you want to use it. So these go from light to dark, or some I go from dark to light depending on how I wind them, and really lovely if you're knitting a scarf or a shawl. It'll suddenly, this gradual change, this tonal effect will go from light to dark. So I wind a ball of wool really tight, and I'm just going to put it into the dye pan with it dry. I've got some merino wool tops that I'm going to dye just with one colour, and then I've got some 25-gram hanks that I've wound up here. So we can get all these different effects. So one of the effects is where we can get going from light to dark on the hank. So again, that will give you quite a nice sort of banding on a loom. Same idea for that one, which is shades of purple. So we've got my Gaywool dye, and this is some of the tomato. We sell it in small packs, which is 100 grams, which will dye 1 kilo to 1.5 kilos. And we also sell, for all you indie dyers, kilo bags of both ranges of the Bush Blends and the original. So this is tomato, and I just keep it in jars. So I've diluted my dye in some warm water, and I do it in a jam jar to make sure I've got no crystals left at the bottom. And I'm going to pour that in to my dye. And you should always have pans that you don't use for cooking, and these are lovely big stainless steel pans that I get from a catering supplies company. I have big flat ones, and then these deeper ones. So I've now mixed my dyes up. So I'll start off with my ball of wool. I'm just going to pop that in, and of course it's going to want to float. So with my prongs, I'm just going to hold it down, and you can hear it bubbling to itself. And when all the air has escaped, it'll sink down into the dye pan, and you just need to keep moving it around. The dye is there in the yarn within the first 3 minutes. What the next 27 minutes are doing is just setting the colour. So I've got it on heat, but I don't want it boiling. It's just sitting below simmer. So that now, when it stops bubbling, we'll be ready to leave. So there we go. So the first hank I'm going to put in, I've put it in dry. I'm just going to submerge that, and what I will do is, if I wanted to do 4, then I'll just divide my half an hour into 4 and leave it in there. And then after about so we've got 30 minutes, so that's 15. So after about 7.5 minutes, I'll put another hank in. After another 7.5 minutes, I'll put another hank in. And with all this yarn, gradually the dye is getting less and less, and you'll get it getting paler and paler. And then I'm going to do another idea, which is some wool tops that are just damp. And I'm going to put again 1/4 of the tops in. Another idea is going to be taking 1 hank of yarn, and I'm going to put 1/4 in to the dye pan. So I'm just going to push that in. And then what I'm going to do, just to make sure it doesn't fall off, I'm just going to put a closed peg. So I've just put, if you can see, I've just put a quarter of the yarn into the die. And then again, a bit like the whole skein in for this one, after, and again 7.5 minutes, I'll put another quarter in. On this one, I'll put another quarter in. So this one is going to go in the length is about that long, so then it'll go darker, medium, paler, really pale on one round of the hank. So 1.5 meters is going to be divided into 4 sections, going dark, medium, light, very light. And that again, when you knit it up, is going to give you a lovely pattern. So those are just very simple ideas, but using just one colour of dye to get different gradients on separate hanks, different gradients on one hank, different gradients on wool tops, and then the whole ball in where I'm going from light to dark. So you didn't need lots and lots of different colours, but we can get some stunning effects. So the dyes are available in 2 ranges, the original range, which are quite vibrant colours, and the bush blend range, which are more muted and look more like natural dyes. The dyes are packed damp, so they don't float around in the air, and they are non-toxic. They contain everything you need, so you don't need to add anything else except the turquoise, which is a little bit more tricky. You might need to use some white vinegar with that, but they contain all the fixing salts, so there's no having to measure out grams and fixing salts, all in one. Really, really easy to use. So give us a ring if you would like to have a sample. Otherwise, have a look on the website. And for Buxton this weekend, on the smaller packets, we've got a deal where if you buy 5, we'll give you 1 free. So a fantastic way of getting into dye. We're all going to be washing fleeces in this lovely weather, so if you need any dyes, give us a bell.